All right, let's explore where the magic really happens, and that's with this cooking connection. I love that term because it really is about communication and bonding as a family. So here are 3 ways that you can encourage that with your child and your family. Okay, number 1. What I haven't told you yet is that I'm also a pediatric speech language pathologist, so I'm a communication specialist. And I wanted to share with you some interesting research. Did you know that babies and toddlers will actually develop language and speech sooner if we just be quiet? What do I mean by that? Well, that's called pause time or wait time. And we know that if we start the conversation with our toddler with a few simple words, and then we allow 3 or 4 seconds to go by before we expect them to respond, we're actually setting them up for success because it gives them time to process our message and respond accordingly. It may not always be with a word, it might be with a gesture or a giggle, but it'll be a response in some way. And that's where that reciprocity, that back and forth communication happens. Well, the same is true for older kids too, especially when you're in the kitchen together. So when you're in the kitchen and you're cooking together, you're washing the beets or scrubbing on the carrots, whatever it happens to be, you might try commenting or asking a question and then quietly counting to at least 4 in your head. Give your child a chance to respond. That's where the communication starts. Number 2, let's talk about the difference between comments and questions. It's not that questions are a bad thing. Try to keep them open-ended so you don't just get a yes or a no or a shrug. But what really elicits connection and communication are comments. So for example, if I were chopping a carrot with some child-safe knives and I had a kiddo next to me, instead of saying, "Do you want to chop?" they might say, "Yeah," or "No," or "Mm-mm." Instead, I'm going to comment about what I am doing and maybe hand them one of the child-safe knives. So for example, I might say something silly like, "Oh, these carrots are loud. They sound like a T-Rex stomping through the jungle. Chomp, chomp, chomp." At the very least, you're going to get a giggle. You might even get a dinosaur roar back, but it's definitely a fun response. And that's going to keep everything light. And it's also going to help the kids to understand that the kitchen is a safe place to express your emotions, to be yourself, and to feel good. There's 2 really important things that I want you to keep in mind. The first thing is, your kids don't have to have the full-blown experience in the kitchen in order to have fun. If they just want to come in and help you gather the bowls and the equipment and the measuring cups or maybe a few things out of the refrigerator and then just sit on a stool and watch you cook, that's awesome. The other thing I want you to consider too is that the recipes aren't always about the final product. They're not necessarily about taking a taste. They're not about ultimately eating. It's about connecting in the kitchen and frankly, just having fun together. The more you do that, eventually the kids will decide to take a taste. So give it some time and go slow. Most important thing is that you're having fun together. Bringing that element of fun is really what helps with that cooking connection. So I want you to think outside the box a little bit. Definitely get some child-safe knives. They're available online. Take a look at some fun bowls and some fun measuring cups, etc. But be creative. So you might consider putting little tiny tasting spoons. You know, the kind you get at an ice cream shop? At everybody's plate tonight. Let's see if everybody can eat with tiny spoons. What about adding a cupcake topper to the Brussels sprouts right after they get out of the oven? You know, sometimes something like a vegetable is a lot more fun to eat when you've got a fairy godmother on top. How about adding something like a fun scrubber to help your kids join in on the fun of getting the vegetables ready before you're going to cook them? It'd be a lot more fun to clean potatoes with this little dolphin, don't you think? Remember to bring the fun in. That's what helps kids feel safe and know that they can be themselves, they can connect with you in the kitchen, and they can express their feelings in any way they want because it's a safe place. It's the kitchen, it's the heart of the home. I hope you find these tips helpful and enjoy your time together as a family in the kitchen.